Good morning, all your Wago. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, PT, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, and the rest of the world. It is a good day to have a good day. Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. Lucky number 7. Let's see what the day brings. Good morning, everybody. I trust you had a restful and peaceful Tuesday. It is hump day, middle of the week. That's when we can see the weekend coming a little bit closer, coming across the Himalayas. So yeah, a lot of people stand to get a little cheered up this morning as we're in the middle of the work week. Good morning to the folks joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, Hot 98.5, 98.7, as well as the folks joining us on the Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. Bless up all your wholesales on this wonderful Wednesday morning. To all the viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, Jamaica, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Montserrat, and Bonaire. Good morning to the residents in those 5 islands. Hope everybody is well. A spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And to the folks joining us internationally. Hold on, let me see if I could come up with some countries that I haven't come up with in a while. Have I hailed up Kenya in recent times? Let's see, Australia. Where else? I'm trying to think of countries that I don't usually hail up. Hungary, Iceland, Ireland. I don't think I've hailed up at least those 3 in a very long time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Wago, bless up all your whole selves. Let's do this. It's time for this morning's word of the day. It's now 21 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Let's see what's this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is bricolage. Bricolage. It's spelled B-R-I-C-O-L-A-G-E. Bricolage. It's a noun which means a construction made of whatever materials are at hand, something created from a variety of available things, or as we say in local parlance, makeshift. The noun bricolage in French means do-it-yourself, formed from the verb which means to do odd jobs, to do small chores, or make improvised repairs. It comes from Middle French, which means to zigzag, bounce off, ultimately a derivative of the Old French noun which means a trifle. Bricolage entered English in the second half of the 20th century. The word of the day this morning, B-R-I-C-O-L-A-G-E, bricolage, a noun which means a construction made of whatever materials are at hand, something created from a variety of available things, aka makeshift. An example of the use of the word: indeed, if we scratch beneath the surface, English is a veritable bricolage of these borrowed words. That's the word of the day this morning, B-R-I-C-O-L-A-G-E, bricolage, a noun which means a construction made of whatever materials are at hand, something created from a variety of available things. So when you grab whatever you have to tie something or to make a fort for the kids or whatever you're doing makeshift, not the correct materials that you would usually use, it's called a bricolage, a makeshift something that you put up there. That's what it is. That's the proper word for it, bricolage, B-R-I-C-O-L-A-G-E. And as you go about your wonderful Wednesday, let's see what's the thought of the day that can get you through the next 24 hours or so. The thought of the day: don't lose hope. You never know what tomorrow will bring. Don't lose hope. You never know what tomorrow will bring. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, Thursday, God willing. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't be despondent. Don't get discouraged. Don't say, you know what, I ain't going through that again. You never know what will happen tomorrow, please the Lord. You never know what's in the cards for you. You never know what's God's plan for you. So keep at it. Don't lose hope. You never know what tomorrow will bring. Cheer up yourself and just keep pushing. Keep stretching forward. Keep moving forward. Don't lose hope. You never know what tomorrow will bring. All right, let's see what's celebrated today. Blossom inside, and she inside twice, maybe 3 times. Earlier today. Today it is No Housework Day. I repeat, it is No Housework Day. April 7th is a chance to revel in No Housework Day. Put down the laundry and toss out the to-do list. For this one day, we can give ourselves a break and do what we want around the house. Maintaining a clean and livable home can sometimes feel like a never-ending chore. As soon as you have finished the washing and the cleaning, it all needs doing again and again and again. Well, that's why No Housework Day is here, to allow yourself a break, meaning that for one day at least, you don't need to worry about the housework. Not housework doing today. Don't wash the waste, don't sweep the floor, don't mop the floor, don't do nothing. It is No Housework Day. I know a lot of people are happy for this. I can't wait for somebody to tell you do something and they say nope, it's No Housework Day. The wives and girlfriends and fiancés come to mind, mommies come to mind, aunts come to mind. There are some men who do the housework mostly. Okay, some of you may come to mind as well. Whatever gender you are, No Housework Day. Don't do nothing today. Not a finger lifting today on No Housework Day. I can't wait for the hubby say do this later. Sorry for him. Hey, No Housework Day. All right, and today it is also World Health Day. World Health Day. That's what's celebrated today as well. The World Health Organization chooses to highlight a special theme current in the wellness and medical world, ranging from mental health to insurance and everything in between. This day sets the tone for what's to come in the world stage. This year's World Health Day will shine a light on nurses and midwives, the on-the-call, restless workforce that revolutionized the healthcare industry as we know it today. So a special good morning to all the nurses and midwives across the Island. It is World Health Organization, and that's who we're focusing on in 2021. Y'all continue doing what you're doing. I know it's not an easy road in the maternity ward and gynae ward, but set up all yourself right. Bless up all yourself this morning on World Health Day. Focus on nurses and midwives. All right, and just before we go to the break, some notices issued by the RGPF, the traffic department of the RGPF, about 2 road closures. One that I would be able to tell you about, let me see if I can get to the second one. But the very first one, this is for the travelers on the western side of the island. According to the traffic department, rehabilitation work is ongoing on a culvert located along the western main road in proximity to the Perseverance landfill. As a result, effective 9 a.m. tomorrow, God willing, Thursday, a temporary bypass will be created in the said vicinity to facilitate the flow of traffic. So those of you who use the western side of the island to get to and from 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, God willing, tomorrow Thursday, a temporary bypass will be created for the flow of traffic as rehabilitation work goes ahead on a culvert close to the Perseverance landfill. The notice advises that you should anticipate delays in traffic getting to and from, especially rush hour. So I suggest you leave home a little bit earlier tomorrow morning, God willing, to get to work, get to school, school on holiday, get to work, get to town, get to the appointment, whatever you need to do, because of the delays. They did not put a duration for how long the work will last or how long the temporary bypass will be in place, but just know it's from 9 a.m. tomorrow, Thursday, April 8th. That's for the western side of the island. And today, the RGP of the Traffic Department also advises that the by road opposite the Montessori School in Montu, that's as you break the hill when you come up by Rick's Cafe. When you break that hill there, the Montessori School is right to the right. The road to the left that will take you to the Grandans Valley Main Road, that road will be closed to vehicular traffic from 8 this morning to 4 p.m. So the by road opposite the Montessori School in Montu will be closed to vehicular traffic today, Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The notice did not say why Just know that it is closed. Yes, they did not say why. Just know that it's closed 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So the business owners in there, the residents in there, those who you try to bypass the traffic on the Grandlands Main Road, closed from 8 to 4, the by road opposite Montessori School that will take you to the Grandlands Valley Main Road. Closed to vehicular traffic. All right, it is now time for us to get into the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. It's a wonderful Wednesday in the land of the living. Stick and stay. Good morning, Grenada. We'll be right back.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no.
Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
In outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Chris Regis's formal statement remains the critical and missing component in his matter involving the police that would most likely bring about closure to a matter that resulted in the death of Trevor Regis, the father of Chris. Superintendent of Police in charge of the Community Relations Department, Vannie Kerwin, addressed this issue during a press conference on Tuesday. Chrislena John has the latest.
Dating back to October 21st, 2020, at Fontenoy, St. George, Chris Regis was allegedly shot by police, a single gunshot wound, during a police operation early that morning. The shooting arose from an incident in which the young man was allegedly seen smoking a joint of marijuana. According to reports, both the police and Regis were involved in a tussle, following which Regis freed himself, running away, and was allegedly shot in the upper arm from the back. An investigation was launched following the incident. However, to date, the matter remains open.
Done everything that we needed to do. At this point, as I speak to you, we do not have a formal complaint from from Chris Regis. So in light of all of the hype and all of the concerns that were raised by the public and the demonstration, to this date and time, we do not have a formal complaint. We have investigated this matter to the point where we have taken statements from all and sundry who had something to say or who have seen something. We have concluded the rest of our investigation. We have submitted a file to the DPP well over a month now, and we're waiting for the DPP's pronouncement on where we go from here. Unfortunately, I don't think much of a pronouncement can be made without a formal complaint from Chris Regis and a formal statement being taken from him.
The former swim coach lost the ability to effectively use his arm since the incident. Superintendent Cohen says a decision has to be reached. However, it is out of their hands, and now this rests with the Office of the Department of Public Prosecution.
Last week, again, was one of our many efforts to reach out to the family to say we need to have Chris's version of the incident. We need to have a formal complaint from him. We needed to know from him exactly what has happened, because to date we only have one side of the version, and we cannot make a decision on what we have. Chris's evidence or information is critically important in us deciding one way or the other way this investigation goes. So to answer you specifically, that matter is still open, and unless and until Chris come and give us a formal statement, a decision will have to be made by the DPP, not by us.
Regis' incident is one that led to another major incident that resulted in the death of his father, Trevor Regis. Feeling emotional after the shooting of his son, who was hospitalized at the time, Regis Sr. went berserk and stabbed innocent police officers in St. George. He was subsequently shot by a police officer and lost his life. Chrislena John, GBN News.
The documents for the deportation of the 5 Venezuelan nationals are still being prepared. This is according to Superintendent Vanny Kerwin in the latest update since the announcement by Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin last Tuesday. We get the details in this report.
Following the announcement last Tuesday, the situation with the illegal immigrants remains the same as they continue to be remanded at the Richmond Hill prison. 5 Venezuelan nationals were the latest to be detained during an operation by officers of the Drug Squad and Immigration Department. The arrest was made in an apartment in True Blue, St. George. They brought the number of illegal immigrants to Grenada for 2021 to 15. Superintendent Vanny Cohen says this reinforces their concerns about illegal immigrants and the threat of COVID-19.
And as we raise the point of deportation, this is a concern for us. We are seeing, quite a large number of illegal immigrants are coming into our countries not using the authorized and approved port of entries, and so they are coming through the various bays and creeks, because our borders are very porous. That raises concern for us. Not only the fact that they are illegal, but the fact that we do not know where they are coming from and we do not know what they are bringing into Grenada. And that's why even if we have no active case on the island, we keep saying wearing of masks become a priority, because among ourselves we might be safe, but with the influx of these illegal immigrants bringing whatever they're bringing into the country and exposing all of us to it, we can have another outbreak just like that. And so it is critically important that we continue to abide by and obey the COVID protocols that are in place for our own protection. And now more than ever, with these influx of illegal immigrants, we're appealing to the public, please maintain your social distancing, continue to wear your mask, continue to keep your 6 feet distance from each other.
The men were taken to the St. George Magistrate Court on Tuesday, April 30th, where they pleaded guilty for illegal entry and were all ordered to leave the state of Grenada by the presiding judge. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
One man is 1 limb less and hospitalized following an altercation on the Easter weekend. More in this Chrislena John report.
2 perpetrators remain at large, while 2 men remain hospitalized following Easter weekend incidents. One of the men is left 1 limb less, while the other nurses injuries. Corporal Cadena Douglas McLean, attached to the Community Relations Department during a press brief on Tuesday, says the biggest challenge was a crowd at Bathway Beach.
There was also a chopping in the parish of St. Andrew, Moncton to be precise, during the hours of Thursday night into Friday morning, and 1 man is presently hospitalized at the General Hospital. Due to the severity of his wound, his hand had to be amputated, and he's still warded at the hospital, stabbing at H.A. Street, St. George's, and that victim is also hospitalized at the General Hospital. Police continue their search for both perpetrators of these acts.
The officer spoke to a video that went viral on social media on Monday, which showed two young ladies involved in a fight. Corporal McLean explained how the police handled the matter as the two await their day in court.
Two young ladies who were seen fighting in a video over the weekend. Both individuals were also arrested and charged for fighting in a public place and causing harm.
Further updates on the Easter weekend activities were provided.
Eastern side of the island, 4 businesses in particular were shut down. 2 of them, they were granted permission to operate. The other 2, they were not granted permission to operate. And they had to be shut down because they exceeded the allotted amount of patrons for public gatherings. These business owners were also notified that charges will be preferred against them. And one in particular of concern to us was a gathering at Tivoli in St. Andrew, where that activity had in excess of 500 persons in attendance. And as I stated earlier, no permission for this activity, nor was permission granted for playing of amplified music at that activity.
He further stated that one male was arrested for violation of the COVID-19 regulations and was found with a quantity of Sorsop, for which he was also charged. Overall, 32 COVID-violated tickets were issued. Christina John, GBN News.
According to the chairman of the Grenada movement, Dr. Patrick Antoine, the government of Grenada is setting a bad example for Grenada's youth, as there is too much bacchanal involved in the struggle for public officers' 4% salary increase. He said the matter needs to be resolved as soon as possible. Trulana Charles has the details.
If a CARICOM national can get a judgment from the court, and our government will not conform swiftly to that judgment, but a foreign national can get a judgment from a court and our government conforms to it swiftly, then it raises some very real questions about our society.
Chairman of the Grenada movement, Dr. Patrick Antoine, while discussing the 4% salary increase saga between the government of Grenada and public workers, said all parties involved need to return to the negotiating table and come to a consensus about the 4% salary increase. Speaking on GBN's To The Point program, he described the government's failure to negotiate with the unions and attempts to pay even 1% as a monumental failure of leadership.
If the government had stopped by saying we can't pay anybody because the circumstances have changed and we now have to relook everything, that would have been okay. But they didn't do that. They paid some and didn't pay others. And so by any test, this to my mind is where leadership should have mattered. This to my mind is where the discussion should have taken place, not in the public domain. We like too much bacchanal. We don't want to talk to each other anymore.
He said teachers and public servants have a right to feel discontent since the government took on and resolved multiple other financial obligations, even though the 4% agreement came prior.
The teachers have a just right to feel that you did not honor mine, even when we take the COVID and the judgments of the court I've spoken about into account. But you've taken on Grenlet, you've taken on the airport, and you've also taken on new spending, right? For instance, through the environmental wardens.
Dr. Antoine said the saga can still be resolved, but that depends on the government and the unions' willingness to meet and simply talk to each other.
The government and the unions need to meet and demonstrate that our society has come further than this. And any party that fails to do so must know that our history will judge them cruelly, because when we should be coming together in the name of COVID and economic recovery that all of us want to see, what we're doing is spending time, unnecessary time, fighting and shouting at each other because we refuse to talk. We refuse to talk. Leadership is required and the government must lead on this matter. from in front.
Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
Wednesday could be a massive display of the color red throughout the country if the call by the Grenada Union of Teachers is answered as the push for public officers payment of their 4% salary increase heightens.
President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, has sounded a call for all workers in Grenada to show solidarity to protesting public officers by wearing red on Wednesday. Bartholomew told GBN that while the issue is directly targeting the unpaid 4% salary increase owed to them by their employer, the government, they are also protesting all forms of injustices against workers. While not disclosing the fine details of where they will assemble or gather in the end, Bartholomew said they will notify the police and adhere to the COVID-19 protocol.
Starting from around 9:30, all right, so we're going to have a walk. The teachers are responsible people, and most definitely we're going to follow the COVID-19 protocols with our mask and everything, and the 3 feet social distancing. We would inform them, but we know most definitely that basically the public, teachers and workers have the right to assemble, the right to march, the right to walk, all right, to whatever. And based on the ILO convention, we have the right to take part in, whatever industrial action or industrial protests. All right. Basically, once your union call you, we have that right. The right to assembly as enshrined in the Grenada Constitution.
The Royal Grenada Police Force, in a strong worded statement issued less than 2 weeks ago, classified the protest actions of public officers as carnival-like demonstrations and accused the protesters of defying COVID-19 regulations. Police warned that should these violations continue, the response from the RGPF will be urgent and decisive to ensure compliance with the regulations. The GUT leader urges his members and the nation to not be intimidated as they let their voices be heard.
I want to make it clear, all right, to the nation and to our teachers, we need not be afraid to march. We need not be afraid to walk, all right? That is our right. And basically, it doesn't matter for where it comes from, whether from government, whether from whatever avenue, nobody is going to intimidate us and to prevent us from doing what we're supposed to do for justice, economic and social justice in Grenada, Carriacou, and Piti Matnik. So I'm calling on our teachers to stand up strong in solidarity, together, all workers, all unions. Once we join together, and basically we come together, and with unity and strength and one purpose, it might take long, but we will be victorious.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Protest action resumed on Tuesday, April 6th at the newly branded ACB Caribbean, the location which once housed RBTT Grenada Limited. GBN was brought up to speed on what the present situation is regarding employees.
Employees continue in protest action over unsettled matters in front of what is now the ACB Caribbean. The entity has been rebranded on the weekend from what was RBTT Grenada Limited to ACB Caribbean. Former management has changed, and now the onus is on the new management to make the adjustments or to address those issues. We hear from one of the union's representatives on the position where they are at in terms of getting these matters settled.
Godwin Chappell Thomas, organizing secretary for the Technical and Allied Workers Union, the bargaining agent for the bank's employees, says no meeting was held as expected towards the end of last week. However, their position remains the same and is prepared to meet with the management at any time.
See, the workers is still out, so that means that there was no change. The law is very clear on this matter, and we are with the bank still. This is the first day of the operation on island, and as a new employer, a new business on the island, it's not a good thing to be seen outside there. In fact, the bank should move speedily to have this matter rectified. That meeting was not held. Certainly there was no meeting with the new owners, or the owners who are left had met with us over the last weekend. We haven't met at all, so the status quo remains.
Thomas says the bank still owes them a response based on a document issued.
Though as union, we put forward in a memorandum to the bank. We have sent off that last Thursday it was, I think it was. We have not got any response on the proposal that we put forward to them. It hasn't reached us up to now.
On Tuesday, the bank's new owners issued a statement regarding its striking workers who wants the option to accept severance. The statement reads, and I quote, "We have secured agreement from RBC to retain sole responsibility for this outstanding labor dispute. We have also ensured that any and all severance entitlements that may be finally determined due and payable are secured in an escrow fund in a segregated account." We respect the staff's decision as guided by the union's representative, the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, the GTAU, noting that this action is within their rights so to take. Additionally, the ACB Caribbean states that it subscribes to open dialogue on employee-related issues and looks forward to the staff's cooperation and understanding under the circumstances. Under the circumstances, therefore, we ask that the staff recognize that the dispute resolution process under the collective agreement to now be exhausted. The statement reads.
From in front of ACB Caribbean, I am Carlene John for GBN News.
A new beginning for what was RBTT Grenada Limited, officially now under new ownership, while the long-standing battle over employees' benefits continue. We welcome our guest tonight, Mr. Andre Lewis, President General of the Technical and Allied Workers Union. Mr. Lewis, good evening.
Good evening to you, and thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy man, especially with what's been happening recently. Now tell us, there was a meeting held this evening in an attempt to resolve this matter. What is the latest on this issue?
Let me first of all clarify this. I'm not aware of any meeting being held this afternoon to resolve the matter. What I do know, we must express our very deep concern that in the middle of an industrial dispute, that the Antigua Commercial Bank saw it fit to come into Grenada to operate. Taking into account that the government of Grenada gave us its commitment that the change in ownership will not be allowed to operate pending the resolution of the industrial matters. I'm absolutely certain that knowing our comrades in Antigua, in the trade union movement, knowing how the governments in Antigua operate, both the sitting government and the opposition, they will not allow a matter like this in Antigua to unfold and allow any outside company, any company from any other island to come into the country and operate in the still of the night while this matter is outstanding. And it begs into question ACB Caribbean's understanding and appreciation and respect or lack thereof for the Grenadian worker. As a new entity, you saw it fit to come into the middle of an ongoing industrial dispute when we, as the Technical and Allied Workers Union, wrote to you, pointing out to you the importance of allowing this matter to resolve first before you got involved. And therefore, it begs into question what is actually happening here. I should let you know that over the weekend, on Saturday gone, the union, in dialogue with RBC Financial Caribbean, submitted a proposal along the line of a without prejudice agreement to try to find a resolution to the matter. The bank undertook to get back to us, and up to this moment, as we speak to you, we have not yet heard from them. So we
have a statement here from the bank, and maybe you can tell us more. ACB Grenada Bank Limited issued a statement earlier today on staff industrial action, and I quote, it says, "We have secured agreement from RBC to retain sole responsibility for the conduct of this outstanding labor dispute. We have also ensured that any and all severance entitlements that may be finally determined due and payable are secured in an escrow fund in a segregated segregated account, end of quote. My simple mind asks, if this money is already secured, you no longer hold ownership of the institution, workers want their monies, and the Labor Commissioner and Minister ruled in the workers' favor, what is the sticking point in simply paying the workers?
The answer can simply be probably because they're Canadian bank and they look at us differently. I do not want to say as black people, right? I do not want to go down there as yet, but your mind has raised the exact thing that has occupied our thought for the longest while. As a matter of fact, the monies that they claim to put in an escrow account is much more than what is expected to be paid out now, because it is not all the workers who wants to be retrenched. So the question is not money. And for many of these companies, it is never about money, but it's about looking down on us, right? It is another means of frustrating the workers, trying to frustrate the union. Because the process that they are speaking about is designed to drag this thing out until workers die and until workers get frustrated, because it is not about money. The Labour Commissioner, the Minister for Labour, in keeping with the collective agreement that we have already pronounced on the matter. It's not a question of money. They have indicated that they have put aside that money and take it from us. The monies that they put aside is much more than what is expected to be paid out, because it is a part of the workforce that wants to go. And if they have to put aside money, it will be on the basis of all workers going. And we know that it is not all workers that want to go. As a matter of fact, the proposal that we have made is to pay the workers who want to go, and we give a commitment that these workers shall make themselves available to the new owners for as long as up to 6 months to assist in the transition. So this is not just about money, but this is about a Canadian bank looking down on us in the Caribbean region and in Grenada in particular. I'm absolutely confident that that cannot happen in Antigua. Be it the sitting government or the opposition, if they were in office, will not allow that to happen.
And my last quick question for you, you mentioned the collective agreement. The statement tells staff to recognize that the dispute resolution process under the collective agreement must now be exhausted. So, Mr. Lewis, is the process exhausted?
Yes, it has been exhausted, because any other process has to be with the agreement of the parties. In other words, the parties can decide how to resolve the matter. And they are taking an approach that is designed to frustrate the workers. We have had experiences with other companies, some of them foreign-based, that have taken these processes, tied it up for years and years, as much as 10, 15 years, and that is what they are aiming to do. But let me also point out here that come tomorrow, this matter shall be escalated. The Technical and Allied Workers Union have other resources that we shall use at our own disposal and our own timing. At the same time, we have called upon all our members under the Technical and Allied Workers Union to report to work tomorrow in red as a show of solidarity with the public sector workers and the RBTT workers. And there shall be some of our strategic members, workers, present with us tomorrow morning as a means of showing our solidarity with the workers. RBC, Financial Caribbean, must not be allowed to get away with looking down at Grenadian workers. And it is in ACB Caribbean interest to have got this matter resolved before they came here. And what is worse, there is a minimum of 4 workers from Antigua currently working in Grenada, as our workers are on industrial action. I am sure that the Antiguan government will not allow any Grenadian worker or any other national to come into Antigua to work while the nationals are fighting for the rights of the workers based on the pronouncement of the Labour Commission and the Minister for Labour. We want to resolve the matter, but it has to be done with dignity, and therefore we shall pursue the matter.
Well, it sounds like we'll be hearing from you very soon, considering what you have planned for tomorrow. It's always a pleasure to have you as our guest, Mr. Lewis. Thank you so much.
Come tomorrow and see what will be happening.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much. That was Mr. Andre Lewis of TAWU.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel. Available only at Rubis stations.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again at Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program, hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens. See you then.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now exactly 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. Thank you, those of you who stuck with us. Those of you just joining us, happy to have you. Let's get into this morning's discussion. April has been designated Child Abuse Awareness. Hold on, let me make sure I have it right. Yes, Child Abuse and Awareness Month, April. And this morning we have joining me are two officials of the Grenada National Council. What does R stand for again? Look how what really happening with me here? The chairman of the GNCRC, Jeanine Sylvester-Gill, and the public relations officer, Carlene Pezar. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Blossom. Good morning.
How are you both? Carlene, I can't see you yet.
Oh, okay. Just give me a few minutes.
Okay. But Mrs. Gill, remind me what the R stand for again? My mind just go blank.
So it's the Coalition
on the Rights of the Child. There we go.
Correct. Rights of the Child.
I don't know what happened to me. I don't know what's going on with my brain there, but my brain just stick. But thank you very much. The Grenada National Coalition on the Rights of the Child, GNCRC. So good morning once again, ladies. April is a significant month as it focuses on child abuse and awareness. Child abuse awareness. Tell me about the significance of this and how important it is for us in Grenada to recognize this month, and if the prevalence of child abuse, how prevalent is it, I should ask? How prevalent is child abuse still in Grenada?
Okay. Every year, during the month of April, we use the opportunity to join the rest of the world, because it's an international day that's carded, to raise awareness about preventing child abuse. In Grenada, unfortunately, we still have an issue when it comes to abuse of our young ones. Our women and children seem to be most at risk, but specifically our children are at risk. We do have all forms of abuse in Grenada: physical, emotional, sexual abuse. Over the years, we have seen the increase in numbers. Some persons would say that we may not have had more instances, but I believe due to some of the advocacy that has been done over the years, the establishments of new policies and protocols, we are seeing more reporting taking place. So we are becoming more aware of it, and a lot of cases are being highlighted, whereas in the past we would have known about it in communities and so, but it would have been a hush-hush scenario. The world is becoming even smaller. We're open now with social media and all of that. So we're hearing what's happening around the world. Persons are more encouraged now to report because they're seeing that if they report, then justice can be done, the child can be helped, that kind of thing. So we have been seeing increases in numbers. So that's why it's significant for us to continue to talk about it. And that's why we choose every year, 1 month in particular, to raise awareness about abuse and to help parents, to help guardians, to help children themselves learn ways in which they can prevent it.
What's the theme for 2021 and what does it mean for us here in Grenada specifically?
Right. So this year's theme, everybody, the last year has been a real twist in the world. So the theme for this year is protecting our children during this pandemic, right? COVID-19 has caused a whole new tonload of issues with children when it comes to abuse and households and families and so. So we thought it was important to, during our campaign, to highlight the importance of the prevention and the awareness during pandemic times. Right. What we're seeing, of course, with COVID, as you say, new twists and turns. All of a sudden, we have everybody on lockdown. We have more persons in the household together for extended periods of time. We have more children at home, not going to school. We have families who would have lost their jobs altogether, or we would have had decreased income coming into the family. All of these things are what we call stressors, right? And the increased stress has resulted in the past in increased abuse. So this is what we're trying to highlight, to help our parents, to help our guardians deal with the changes that are happening now because of the pandemic, and to help prevent the increased numbers. It so happens, and data shows that when schools are on holiday, when children are at home for extended periods of time, the data increases in terms of the number of cases. Hence the reason why we chose this theme for this year.
And with that theme as well brings to light the fact that any event that would be held to commemorate 2021 would be held with COVID-19 protocols in mind. So with that in mind, what were some of the events that you've been able to put together that we can continue to raise awareness about child abuse?
Well, on this note, I would come in. We would be having a lot of school outreach. We would be trying to go on the block, and have discussions with the young people there. But like as Jeanine spoke of earlier, the art competition in the schools, we're trying to target at least 3 schools in each parish, because it's not like we're segregating or trying to eliminate some schools, but because of what we know that now is exam time for a lot of children, so we're trying to do have less schools take part. So we included also the special schools, the schools for special education, because of course children with special needs need to be a part of everything that we're doing. So that's basically what we're having all for now. And a lot of radio program also, a lot of sensitization.
With the raising of these issues and the sensitization efforts of the GNCRC, how much do you think it is being heard and adhered to in terms of one, reporting, even if you're not directly involved, in terms of staying away, in terms of treating our children better and without the abuse? How much of an impact you think these messages have had?
I think, if we can reach every time just a few persons every year, it's some impact. As I say, we've seen the increase in reporting, so it means that what we are saying is reaching somewhere, and we're seeing the results of it. A lot of people are asking, why not? How come we're not having the usual marches through the streets and all of that? COVID-19 has put some restrictions on. But we've encouraged schools, and right now it so happened that the holiday period has landed us just at the beginning of the month of activities. But we've sent out to the schools and encouraged each school, even though they may not be part of the competitions or so, to do something focused on their students, because we have now students who are coming in at different days. They still have a shift system in many of the schools. So we want the schools to tailor it to suit their needs. What we're getting from the schools is that they're seeing children more receptive. Children are open now to talking about instances. It may not be their cases, but if they hear of something or they suspect something, they're more open to reporting. And this is key so that we can prevent. If they're questionable, they may not have been, absolute abuse, but something of concern. We're seeing that the impact that we're making is that children are coming forward to report. Children are talking more freely with counselors, with teachers within the school systems. They're finding persons within their communities that they can trust to speak to, social workers, that kind of thing. And so the impact, we are seeing a positive impact, definitely, from the work that we're doing within the schools. One of the items that Carlene spoke about is the competition that we've launched within some of the schools. And I don't want persons to think we're talking only about Grenada. We do have an activity as well with a group in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So we're working together with one of our other stakeholders, our team members, GHRO, which is the Human Rights Organization of Grenada. So we'll be working with them in Carriacou and Petit Martinique as well. The competition, though, is one of the things that we're trying to get as many students to participate in that we want to give children. And one of the skills and tools that have worked for helping children to deal with this pandemic has been an opportunity whereby they can express themselves and how this pandemic is affecting them. So our competition is art and literary. So we're encouraging students to draw art pieces and then submit poetry or short stories, something in terms of how they can deal, how they've been dealing, or how the pandemic has affected them and how they can deal with it. So that's what we're encouraging them to do. So that is kind of like a psychoeducational part of what we're doing in terms of providing a basis and an avenue for children to express how they're feeling and to be able to deal with the pandemic better.
What are some of the reports that the GNCRC has received, specifically during COVID times, during the lockdown, when a lot of our children were home with their abusers and their predators? What are some of the reports that you've received? Did you notice an uptick? Was it the same as normal? What was it like compared to previous years?
Our office was opened on a part-time basis during the pandemic, during the lockdown. But we did continue to receive telephone calls. Most of them were on the basis of neglect at times, in that persons, and it could be as a result of a decrease in employment and income. So there were more children hungry, unfortunately, or parents' inability to provide nutritional meals. We also had increases of the physical abuse, which is oftentimes a result of persons in close quarters for extended periods of time with the multiple stressors. So, normally when persons get stressed out in the Caribbean, we take a walk, we go down the road, we get away from other things that might be irritating us. During COVID years times, there was nowhere to go, very little space that you can move about. So tensions were raising within households, and then we were seeing then slightly more reports of physical abuse. Now that we've come out of quarantine, we have a new twist in terms of reporting, in that because of the school scheduling, where some children are left home alone because parents now still have to go out to work, some children are left unsupervised, smaller children, and then we have other reports of the bigger children having more time to get into negative behaviors, if I'll put it that way. So they have more free time to do what they want, and we're seeing some more incidences of sexual abuse because if they're having older partners, that kind of thing. And that's the kind of reporting that we're seeing coming through now. A lot of it is behavioral for the older children.
You mentioned earlier that children are now becoming the reporters of abuse. Is this something that you anticipated, and why you think they are now more propelled and encouraged to come forward with the information? Because you don't really find, or at least in the past, you don't find the children being the one to report this is what is happening. What do you think is propelling and encouraging that?
I think it's a trend that has come about over the years, being a combination of the work that the GNCRC has been doing along with other stakeholders, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Social Development. We have Child Abuse Month in October, which is a Ministry of Education organized activity where children, and you hear the chants, child care, yes, child abuse, no, for years now. So children are becoming more and more aware of the issue from an earlier age. And we try to get into schools and to speak with the students and say, yes, it's okay to tell someone. And that's the message that we've been giving over the years. And we're seeing then, the more we say is the more comfortable children are becoming. The schools are now providing a few more resources in that. Most schools now have access to a counselor, a trained counselor. You have Child Protection Authority doing their campaigns. So it is something that we hope for, something that we've worked towards, so that we can have no child left behind in terms of a child being afraid to speak out and to report. So we appreciate the trend. We encourage it as much as possible because we want children's voices to be heard. That's the whole point of the coalition, is to be able to advocate for children to have a voice, to speak out and to defend their rights.
While the GNCRC focuses mainly on protecting the children, what sort of assistance has been and can be given to parents or adults, the abusers, or even the parent or guardian of an abused child, but they're not the abuser? What sort of assistance can be given to the adults in these situations?
Okay, so definitely, because the child does not live alone, it is important that we also help the parent, the guardian, the adults around that child. So even during this month of awareness, some of the activities are geared specifically towards parents. So we've sent out requests to speak with parent bodies, with PTAs, with schools, to share some of the skills and the knowledge, coping mechanisms for parents. Also, because the GNCRC is made up of several stakeholders, we have access to counselors, we have programs, psychoeducational programs, support programs through the Ministry of Social Development. We have legal aid and counseling, different entities that we can refer parents to for further assistance. But what we are trying to do during this month, and during, it's not just a monthly activity, but over the course of the year, and we continue to do that, is to help parents as much as we can. We have leaflets, brochures. They can visit our Facebook page to get tips on how to deal with certain things. So right now we're doing tips on during the pandemic. How can you help your child? How can you be a better listener? How can, things that will help you and help the parent as well dealing with their stresses. So 10 tips on how to cool down, what to do within confined spaces, what not to do, reduce alcohol consumption, that kind of thing. All of these little tips add up and they help. So we're trying to provide our parents and our guardians with these skills and these tips when we do the walkabouts in the community, to give parents an opportunity to ask questions and to get this knowledge as well.
With the events that you have to commemorate the 2021 celebrations of Child Abuse and Awareness Month, how can members of the public join? How can we be a part of these activities to show our support and solidarity?
Well, I would say that Jeanine touched a very important point when she was speaking about listen. And I think as parents, and even as before they used to say be a neighbor's keeper, listen to the children. I think, maybe in cases like these, if the public, engage children, children in your community, you pass, you might say hi, you might see them with a little frown, something, have a little conversation with them. Sometimes that's what it might just take, to start the conversation. And you just never know sometimes what may be going on in the child's life. So listen to children, give them a listening ear. And as you ask the question, what the community can do, what people on the outside can do, that I think would really help a lot in some of the ways to curb the problem that we're going through right now with the children.
Sorry, somebody on the WhatsApp is asking to repeat the theme for 2021. They probably missed the beginning.
The theme is protecting our children during this pandemic.
Protecting our children during the pandemic. And going forward as well, coming out of the pandemic, how would the GNCRC be able to assist our children? Because this period, the last year, and what could be more, maybe another year or so, is all about adapting. And for children, it would be a bit tougher. For adults, we could, go with the flow. For the children, it may be different, especially now that they're not able to socialize like they used to. So how can we help our children coming out of the pandemic and adjusting as time goes on?
You'd be surprised at Blossom that sometimes our children are a little more resilient than we are. But it is just a matter of hearing their voices and hearing the requests that they have. Sometimes you have them. There are things that we can use that are sometimes negative. The social media has become somewhat destructive at times, but it can be very useful. It may mean that, sometimes without the regular social contact, we use WhatsApp, we use FaceTime and all of that. Use it to reach out to somebody in your community, to reach out to another child. Your child might be in a class with another child and you say, well, I haven't seen him for the last month and a half. We just want to make sure and check in and give that child an opportunity to share something that's happening in their lives. So sometimes a WhatsApp quick 5-minute call so that they can have that interaction, that they can have that opportunity to socialize. It is on us, as a community, and Carlene spoke about the village. COVID has given us an opportunity for us to teach our children the games that we played within the yard with our close neighbors, to have them participate in things, in new things, in exploring things in a different way. Also, to encourage the artistic work, to encourage things, to encourage play is important for children. So, to ensure that they have an opportunity to play, because a lot of times they express feelings through play, right? Be mindful about the gadgets. Yes, we all now have given children gadgets for school purposes and all of that, but to monitor also what they're watching and how much time they spend on the gadgets. Sometimes people have now formed and made the gadgets their babysitters. Yes, It helps in keeping that child occupied for a certain amount of time, but you have to be mindful of damage to eyes and brain stimulation for extended periods. So also, there are also the outside negative influences that infiltrate social media and on the internet and what they have access to. So to monitor those things as well, we have to be mindful, Blossom, and if I don't mention it, of cyberbullying. We do have it in Grenada. It is a big issue. I spoke about it last week when I was speaking to some other media persons, that we always say, if your neighbor's house is on fire, wet yours. We're seeing within the region a spike in depression and suicidal attempts in the region by young persons, young children, as a result of cyberbullying. Because now everybody has WhatsApp and everybody is in a chat group and people are making all kinds of comments in the chat group to affect others. And they may not realize it at the time that they're bullying, but they're being mean. One and the same, right? And so children are now getting all of this during the course of the day. And it's something that we have to be aware of and be alert, because sometimes we see changes in behavior. Parents, guardians have to be really observant with their children, because you say, yes, changes are happening. And you say, okay, well, they're doing that because of COVID. But we also then have to look and see if there's a negative, if they're being a little more withdrawn. Why are they withdrawing so much? Encourage them to speak and say. It could be that they're having difficulty dealing with an issue.
That's true. You make a valid point, especially about the cyberbullying. You wanted to say something, Carlene?
Yes, I was also about to say, and as parents, we have children, as Jeanine spoke about with gadgets. We need to go through the gadgets, see what's going on, see the conversation. And then there's also parental guidance, so you can download, to see exactly who your children are speaking to, what sites they are visiting throughout the day when you're not around. These are the things that we as parents need to do. And even if you don't have children, you have nieces, you have nephews, you have little cousins, go through their phones, see whatever they're doing during the course of the day.
I agree. We need to continue to monitor, especially those digital devices. I agree with that one, especially. That's a valid point. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing the information as we commemorate Child Abuse and Awareness Month. Appreciate it so much. And we'll see how much of the activities I can actually participate in and do what I can to raise awareness. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, Blossom.
No problem at all. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks.
Officials of the GNCRC, the Grenada National Council, Coalition on the Rights of the Child, GNCRC Chairman Jeanine, Sylvester-Gill, and PRO Carlene Pezar. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into this morning's traffic cam with Just School Media. We'll be right back.
Grenadians in New York are coming together to pay tribute to our nation's COVID-19 victims and other people who died during the pandemic. The recognition would be in the form of a service of remembrance that would be streamed live via Zoom from Our Lady of Refuge RC Church in Brooklyn on April 18th. Streaming would begin at 4 p.m. and end at 5:30 p.m. under the theme Remembrance, Recognition, and Tribute. Grenadian culture will be showcased in performances from gospel artists, prominent Calypsonians, and the popular cultural group Quake USA. Now, we need your support in providing us with the names of your loved ones who were lost because of COVID. Please email the names to covidmemorialgnd@gmail.com. That's covidmemorialgnd@gmail.com. Let's all remember our dear Grenadians who COVID has taken from us. Zoom in to the live stream Sunday, April 18th at 4 p.m. from Our Lady of Refuge RC Church in Brooklyn. God bless.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program, hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens. See you then.
We now go to Just School Media for this morning's traffic cam. Let's see what the traffic is like on the outside. Let's take it away, June.
So this morning we've seen there's a lot of traffic coming from the Western Main Road, from Guave, Victoria, Cherry Hill, Mount Morris. There's a lot of traffic. And remember, motorists on the roundabout, you give way to traffic on your right. Always give way to traffic on your right. It's Wednesday, it's midweek. It's midweek and we are in the month of April. We just came out of the Easter weekend. The majority of traffic on this intersection this morning is coming from the Western Main Road, from Cherry Hill, and coming just outside of the Kirani Athletic Stadium. Some going up Cemetery Hill, some going through River Road, and some is going through Melville Street to go just outside of the bus terminal. So this is your Wednesday morning midweek traffic cam. What? New number. What's your number? So this is your Wednesday morning traffic cam. Sorry for that, the interruption. So we are on the Melville Street roundabout. Intersects the Western Main Road, River Road, Cemetery Hill, and Melville Street. A major intersection on the morning where people travel to get to work, school. No school this week, but to get to work. Or to bypass St. George's. If you don't have to go into St. George's, you can go up Cemetery Hill, or you can go up River Road, go through Mount Parnassus, or you can go up Maras Hill. So just to encourage all motorists to proper disposal of garbage. Do not dispose garbage from a moving vehicle. You nor your passengers, encourage them for proper garbage disposal to keep our country clean. So happy Wednesday to everyone. Seeing some familiar faces stopping to say hi. We are in the beautiful country of Grenada. So encouraging you as a motorist, as a passenger, to keep our nation clean by avoid throwing or disposing of garbage out of moving vehicles on the side of our nation roads. We are responsible to keep our country clean. And we have a lot to give God thanks for. Last year now, so we are on lockdown, full lockdown, had to line up to get food. A year has gone and we have a lot to give God thanks for. So it's fairly a smooth flow of traffic this morning. No congestion, just a smooth flow of traffic. Going into St. George's, coming out of St. George's, going into River Road, coming out of River Road, also going up the Western Main Road or coming down the Western Main Road. A smooth flow of traffic this Wednesday morning. And just remember, motorists on a roundabout, you give way to traffic on your right. Always give way to traffic on your right. Yes, we have to thank God for His many mercies. And it's a lovely Wednesday morning, the beautiful sunshine. As the sun bursts through the clouds and brightened our beautiful island of Grenada. So smooth flow of traffic this morning. Right here at the Melville Street roundabout. So we thank you for viewing Just School Media in collaboration with GBN, your Wednesday morning traffic cam from right at the Melville Street roundabout.
School Media every Monday and Wednesday at 7:45 a.m. We bring you traffic updates, what's happening out there, so you'll know which roads to avoid, which ones you can get onto, or what the traffic is looking like in terms of its flow. So far, it's smooth along the Keep Left roundabout, coming from all directions. So all in thing, it's 6 minutes to 8 o'clock. So those of you who need to get to the city for 8, you just might get there in time because traffic, actually the road look kind of clear by here, so you never know, you'll get there on time. All right. Thank you so much, Junior. It is 5 minutes on to 8 o'clock right now. Before we take a break, yesterday, a gentleman came to the GBN to bring in a pair of glasses that he found on his walk. He says he usually walks along Lucas Street area. And he was walking yesterday and saw a pair of glasses. So he picked it up, brought it to the GBN. So anybody who is missing a pair of glasses, they are black framed with brown handles. So if you are missing your glasses, you can check the front desk at the GBN. Again, black frame with brown handle if you are missing your pair of glasses. A gentleman found it along Lucas Street yesterday. So if you lost your glasses during the long Easter weekend or so, feel free to check the GBN front desk for the glasses. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. I'm going to say the morning edition of news. Let's get ready for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Always appreciate your listenership and your viewership. Coming up at 9 o'clock, we are expecting to facilitate Minister of Infrastructure, Senator Norland Cox, on this morning's To The Point program at 9. So be sure to tune in. So let's hear the latest update. Ministry of Infrastructure, aka or formerly the Ministry of Works. Enjoy the rest of your wonderful Wednesday. It's a good day to have a good day. Y'all know that's my saying. Bye-bye, everybody. Enjoy your day to the fullest.